Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drew Deeks channel. Really excited about this video today. So we are going to go over the top 10 acquisitions that Mr. Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes have made in their short time here with the Montreal Canadiens in this last season, where we saw them just do a whole front office revamp with the Montreal Canadiens, and now this gentleman here, Mr. Kent Hughes, leading the way. So we're going to do the top 10 acquisitions. Let's just get right to it with number 10 right here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Mr. Rem Pitlick coming in at number 10, putting up decent numbers actually with the Canadiens. This was a waiver pickup by this guy right here, Mr. Jeff Gorton, grabbing Rem Pitlick for absolutely nothing and having him actually put up some decent numbers with the Canadiens this season. 9 goals, 17 assists for 26 points in 46 games with the Canadiens. But not only that, he had 11 points in 20 games with the Minnesota Wild before coming over to the Montreal Canadiens. So not a bad thing. And also the fact that they re-signed him is another good sign as well. All right, so let's go right into number 9, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go into number 9. That is Mr. Evgeny Dadnov, as my buddy Hockey Junkie likes to call him, for Shea Weber. So we actually just saw a picture of, and here it is, from Mr. Dadnov making his first appearance in Montreal, meeting with some fans. But to me, this transaction was a good one because we're going to see some decent value out of this one. And I think that even if this becomes what to me could be like a Radulov situation where we only get Dadnov for one season and he puts up decent numbers and then goes off to, I don't know, Dallas probably like Radulov. I don't know. But I just think that there's value to be had if he has himself a decent season, gets up to close to 20 goals by the trade deadline. And then we could, pick up maybe a first and second round pick or something like that. So we'll see what that becomes. But let's go right into it. Let's keep rolling along. Number 8, we have Jeff Petry for Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson, of course, being a Point Claire native like me, as I mentioned to some of you guys. And that's just a coincidence, but we do look alike even too, which is really funny. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Mike Matheson's going to bring. Of course, we know that Kent Hughes is the former agent of Mike Matheson. He's a left shot defenseman, put up his best season with the Pittsburgh Penguins last year. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring from a leadership perspective with Joel Edmondson on the left side. So I'm looking forward to that one. Let's go right into number 7, folks. Number 7, and this is a draft pick. Mr. Owen Beck, drafted 33rd overall in the second round by the Montreal Canadiens this year at the Bell Center in the 2022 NHL entry draft. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what Beck can do. And to be quite frank with you, I'm going to see him right away in the OHL, as his Mississauga Steelheads will be playing the Niagara Ice Dogs this fall in the season opener here in Niagara. So I'm going to get an early look at Owen Beck. Looking forward to reporting back to you guys what I see from him. He's a centerman, a right shot centerman, 6 foot, just over 185 pounds listed right now. And I really am curious to see the development path for this kid. And I think he's going to put up good numbers again. Last year, he put up 21 goals, 30 assists for 51 points in 68 games with Mississauga. I expect a 60, 70-point season out of him at least. That's my expectations for Owen Beck. All right, let's keep rolling along. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Number 6, another transaction we have, Mr. Ben Sharvat. Oh, man, this was a fun trade because we barely had the Florida Panthers barely got to take advantage of that situation, having Ben Sharvat. They did not have him for very long, folks. So let's look a little further here. I'm just going to replay my music so I can get that going again for you guys. All right, so let's talk about it. Tyler Smilanic. Now, we don't really know what's going to become of Ty Smilanic. He's a left shot forward. I think this trade was mostly about the first round pick in 2023, a chance at the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, or Michkov or Fantilli. So we're hoping that we're actually going to see a top 3 pick. If all goes well, then this transaction will just be an absolute home run for the Montreal Canadiens with Ben Sharvat. And then, we really don't know what's going to become of Ty Smilanic. I'm not too hyped on him right now, but that doesn't mean that something else might not come out of it. And of course, there's a throw-in 4th round pick for this as well. So let's go into number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this was a bit of a sad day for some Habs fans, but we had to see him go out the door, and hopefully the return is going to be good. But we saw our boy Arturi Lekin go to the Colorado Avalanche, and I wonder how that worked out for him. I'm just kidding. We all know it worked out real well for Lecky. But before we even do that, let me just take a quick look how cute Lecky is. My gosh, his draft picture is hilarious. I had to pull that up. He looks so young. So we're going to see what becomes of Justin Barron. We got a 2nd round pick out of this also in 2024. But Justin Barron could potentially become Jeff Petry's replacement down the road. It's going to be a longer development path. I think that's going to be like a 3 to 5 year plan for Justin Barron to really show what he can bring offensively. So No promises there, but I mean, that's kind of what the hopeful projection is, somewhere close to what Jeff Petry was with us for quite some time. Okay, so let's go right into number 4. We're rolling along real nicely here. So we have Tyler Toffoli going to the Calgary Flames, one of Kent Hughes' first big moves as general manager of the Montreal Canadiens. We saw coming our way Tyler Pitlick, cousin of Rem, Emil Heineman. Look at this picture of Emil. This is an awesome picture of Emil Heineman. I absolutely love this. And what else do we get? So we got a first-round pick in 2022, which became this guy right here, Philip Machar, who I am super excited about, a right-handed winger who is, as we know, very good childhood friends with a player that's probably going to be later on in this top 10. You could probably guess who it's going to be. So what's this going to look like for the Habs? Well, Tyler Pitlick probably going to not be with the Canadiens much longer, if at all, after this season, or after this offseason, I should say. But Emil Heineman is one I'm really curious about. I really think that there's a lot to be desired from Emil. He's a forward. He's a big body. So I think there's a lot of hype around him. He's been around development camp as well. So we'll see what comes about that. But yeah, the first round pick in 2022 becoming Philip Machar, that was a big deal for us. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Phil can do, not just because he's friends with a certain Hab I'm going to mention very shortly. All right, let's keep rolling. We're on a good pace here. Number 3, the number 3 transaction. Yes, it was a bit sad to see him go, but Mr. Alexander Romanov, not part of the Kent Hughes plan, I guess, but instead coming our way is Kirby Dock, centerman Kirby Dock. Now, a lot to be desired with Kirby, but he's a big boy, as we know, 6'4", over 200 pounds. And this was a gamble for Kent Hughes, his biggest gamble, his most bold move since being GM of the Montreal Canadiens. This was not a decision they took lightly, right? So we know that there's a lot more potential to be had with Kirby Dock. I can't wait to see what he can do with the Habs. He's a centerman, like I mentioned. He's a big, big boy, and in a perfect world, he'll be number 2. He'll be a number 2 centerman, but I'm okay with him starting at number 3 this year. Okay, so let's roll right along into our top 2. We're going along here. Let's keep it trucking along. And number 2, folks, this is going to start with this transaction right here. It all began with the Brett Kulak trade for William Lagesson, a second-round pick in the 2022 NHL entry draft, and a throw-in 7th-round pick in the 2024 draft. But what was the biggest piece of this transaction? You guys ought to know, and you probably do. That second-round pick this year in this draft became this young man right here, Mr. Lane Hudson. So much hype to be had around this kid right now. We are all really, really looking forward to seeing what Lane Hudson can become with the Montreal Canadiens. I know I certainly am. The more we've dug into him, here he is with the U.S. National Development Program. And that is the biggest part of this Brett Kulak transaction, is the fact that we were able to steal Lane Hudson at 62nd overall in the NHL draft at the Bell Center once again. So, all right. Now, number 1, I don't think many of you guys are going to be surprised who I'm going to take. And a lot of these are kind of faithful projections in this top 10 because we don't have any results for a lot of these guys because a lot of them are draft picks, right? But big surprise here, guys. Big surprise here at number 1. I don't think it's a big surprise, but it is for me because I didn't think we were going to take him. You guys remember. Here he is, Mr. Juraj Slafkovsky. So is he going to be the big deal that a lot of folks genuinely believe he's going to be? Well, I think so. I mean, the more I've learned about him, I've really come around to really like this player, even though I haven't seen that much of Slav yet, right? But I just got word also that the rookie camp will be in September in Buffalo, which is half an hour up the road. So if I get a chance, I would love to go see Slav play at the rookie development camp before the season gets underway. So, all right, guys, let's get into some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions that these gentlemen right here were able to work into the Montreal Canadiens organization, whether as players or just staff. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of these, and let's just get right to them. So I wanted to bring it in here, but Nate Schnarr for Andrew Hammond. Now, this was a trade. I didn't have the graphic for it. I couldn't find it. So thank you, Cap Friendly. But this was another piece of magic from the Canadiens, getting Andrew Hammond for a hot minute. He had, look at this picture of me. What ridiculous. Anyway, this was so much fun, but we had Andrew Hammond for 3 games and he won all 3 of them. And then they were able to flip him for Nate Schnarr, who had a pretty decent season with the Laval Rocket. In 20 games, he had 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. In 11 playoff games with the Laval Rocket, 2 goals, 2 assists. So the fact that we were able to get anything for Andrew Hammond at all, and a prospect we might actually be able to make part of our future in Nate Schnarr, who is 6'3", 185 pounds. He's a centerman. He shoots right. So The fact that you're able to flip something, I found that absolutely amazing. And here's another good picture of Nate Schnarr right here, actually. So really enjoyed that. All right, so let's continue on to the honorable mentions. Now, folks, we know that players weren't all part of the honorable mentions, and that's because we brought in this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Marty St. Louis. Say no more, right? I mean, after Marty came in, things changed, and they changed for the better, as we know. And then not only that, they brought in this guy, one of his old line mates, teammates, Vinny LeCavalier, Stanley Cup champions. Oh, these guys, man. And look how good Vinny looks in a Montreal. Come on. He should have been here longer ago, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll forgive Vinny for coming into the Habs a little bit later, but my gosh, is it ever cool to see him part of the Habs development department, the hockey ops department, the player development department. He's just enjoying his time, and that's got me pretty hyped just to see him there. So, all right, let's keep going. MPP, folks. Come on. Like, this was one of the coolest things I've ever seen the Canadiens do. Diversity, just growing the game and bringing in new faces. And Marie-Philip Poulin, the greatest women's player of all time, arguably, becoming part of the Canadiens organization in a player development role, specifically going to be working with the prospects. She's going to be working with the young prospects of the Montreal Canadiens. So this is one of my favorite pictures from the summer, by the way, so far, is her skating along Juraj Slafkovsky in the Habs development camp. Oh, man, that was a blast. All right, well, we fired through them pretty quickly, but you know what? You guys let me know what you think of the top 10. A lot of fun to be had in this video. This was a lot of fun to put together for you guys. So I just want to say thank you for watching. First of all, it's summer now. I'm going to be taking my little summer break here. So this is my last video for a little while, unless we do something major. I know we're still waiting for Kirby Dock to be signed, and also Caden Primo. But anyway, let me know your comments down below, guys. I really appreciated the support throughout this season so far. It's just been a blast. And I want to thank every one of you new viewers out there for everything, all the support. It means the world to a guy like me. So, yeah, stay tuned to Habs Tonight. We'll be putting out episodes on there very soon as well with player interviews. It's going to be a good summer either way. So thanks for everything, guys. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your top 10. I want to know your top 10 acquisitions from the Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton era so far. Thanks for everything, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers.